What's up, guys? It is your boy Will, and welcome to another week, another weekly design spotlight. I'm home. I'm back from my trip to Cancun. I am definitely making a video separate. It might go on my second channel, Zelo 2, link in the description. My hats are always a little off. There we go. Okay. Um, I'm definitely making a video about all the exciting things. You might be able to hear my voice is shot. We had to pivot our beach games mass event, and just through the process and me yelling and having to lead that where I was trying not to lead it, but then with the pivot and stuff like that, we had to make a lot of decisions on the fly. Um, so with that, I for sure lost my voice. So I'm sorry in advance for my voice. If it sounds too raspy for you, I'm sorry. Please don't click off. Guys, first off, I wanted to start by thanking everyone for 319 subscribers. Thank you to everyone that's been trusting me and the content and the stuff we've been posting out. I've gotten a lot of really good engagements and likes. I would like to see more comments, so please drop a comment. I want to hear your thoughts. Every time I upload videos, I stay on there, I watch the comments, and I try and respond to as many as fast as possible. So please comment on the videos. It definitely helps me a lot. And I just want to hear your guys' opinions on the things that I'm talking about and going. So that way it's more community focused and not just me talking to a mic. It's actually like, hey, we're a community, we're building together. But yeah, it's just so fun to be a part of the process of design, and a lot of fun content in the works. I have a lot of big plans for different content. I wanted to give you guys a brief little intro history to where I was and where I started. Hopefully I can stop this before it goes. Boom. Oh, it almost went. But this was a channel that I used to run a decade ago. A decade ago. With some videos over 200,000 views. And so I'm kind of reliving coming back to this place and stuff like that. So youtube.com/GFX, just a baller domain to start with. And I actually still have the X account Speed Arts. And so that would be really cool to bring back as well. This is actually my old apartment when I used to live in Eastern Idaho. And you can tell I've been a Mac user for forever. But wanting to get back into it. But I used to make a lot of this content already, so I have a little bit of experience doing that. This is obviously way outdated. It looks very a decade ago. Quality and content. This was a community upload. I was gonna say, what even is that? Why'd I make that? But we did do a lot of community uploads as well. But anyway, I have had some just popular videos that popped up through that. So hopefully we can get back to a place like that. But I'm really excited to just be making content again. And the fact that I'm at 300 subscribers just gets me so excited. And so I love that you guys are liking the videos and getting value from it. So enough of the plug. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Anyway, one of the first things I want to start off this weekly design account or weekly design spotlight on, I'm bringing back Draps. Draps was our feature of the week. The first week we did it. His content is incredible, but just design in general, like his project is really cool. I like it, but I really just want to focus on this little piece and talk about the opportunity that being a designer brings. A lot of people think that design will be replaced with AI. A lot of people think that things will happen. And I'll tell you my personal experience and why I think design is a very safe career path to get into, and why the opportunity is actually sweeter than you even think. And I'm going to do some basic math for you guys. But the issue is, like, when you think about business and you think about value creation, right? There are a lot of people who didn't have the ability, founders, solopreneurs, things like that, who now have access to artificial intelligence that will make their content with that, right? And so, yes, there is a reduction in need, whereas before they had to hire someone, right? They had to. So, from a broad sense, yes, the AI coming into it and AI features will empower more solopreneurs. But the issue with that is a solopreneur, for the most part, as they grow, does not stay a solopreneur, you know? And every business owner I've worked with, and I've worked with a lot over my career, they do it out of necessity. And then as they get traction, the good ones, the ones that really make it and that are successful, start to delegate a lot of the tasks. And It's not because they're not capable. It's not because they don't have the tools or the time or the resources. It's because they have higher level problems that they're solving. And those higher level problems create more opportunity for themselves. And so, them spending their time making a logo or making graphics for social or doing all of those things, it doesn't make sense for them to spend their time and energy on that unless they're passionate about it and enjoy it. But ultimately that creates, there's a gap, there is a opening for designers to get in there and be the ones that use the tools, and that is their business, creating those designs and artworks, because that's what we love and that's what we're passionate about. So I want to let you guys know that I'm very bullish on design. I don't think AI will replace design. I think AI will help create a lot of businesses, and those businesses will have founders that eventually outgrow the role of design, and there's going to be a hole for the design creative that can go in and work with those guys and create a lot of value. And so Draps posted this on November 10th, so 4 days ago, completing this prank for a client for 2,500 bucks. Since the client loved it so much, he gave him an additional 600, so he got $3,100 in value along with 3 referrals. And so he hypes it up. I mean, the project is obviously really good. And so big shout out to Draps. But back when I used to do freelance, I don't do freelance anymore. But I had a client that paid me 2,500 a month to do their projects. And so, and I did like, you get really like, you understand the need for the client, you fill a specific hole or void, and you work through that. But 2,500 is a good number just to go with. And the issue is, it's not about the necessarily the dollar amount. And so a lot of people are going to see this model and be like, oh, that's too good to be true. I don't know how to do this. There's no way this works. And I will tell you that if I had all of my time and energy and I thought the reward was great enough, this is what I would do for sure. But if you were a designer out there or trying to be a designer, your question is, how do I become so skilled, become so fast, become so good that I can charge 10 people 2,500 per month on a retainer? So what industry needs that? You start asking yourselves these questions. This is where design business comes in. You're like, okay, what business needs consistent graphics? Construction companies, or start to define like, hey, what companies put in ads, what companies do these things where they need consistent graphics, they need this consistent thing, and then what niche, what business can I go add value to where they don't want to hire a full-time designer? They want the really good quality work, but to pay someone 2,500 a month is $30,000 a year. So to pay someone $30,000 a year is way less than salary. So they don't have the budget to hire someone full time, or they probably would. And then they're gonna have to pay that person, 50, $60,000 or somewhere in that range. So you're half the cost, and you get all of their needs done. They're gonna use you forever. And so, and then you don't have to work for one person; you can work for 10 at the same time. And it's the agency model, and everyone's like, oh, it's too good to be true. It's not possible, or whatever. I would say it is possible. You just have to ask yourselves, how do I become the most skilled person to be so good? And you have to not just love the art that you create, you have to love like the art that you can envision for other people to create. And so, because a lot of people are like, well, I'm gonna do my style, I'm gonna do my thing, and I just don't mesh on the vision of the client, or I just don't mesh with this or whatever. And if you're like, hey, like have your moments or you design for you, but when you're doing client work, design for the client. Design for the person that you're doing the work for, not for yourself. You add your own expertise. You get to be the one that makes it. So you get to add your own artistic value to it, but put yourself in the mindset of the person that you're doing the client for, and save your like stuff for your personal projects. And I guarantee you, if you have that mentality, if you're like, how can I become so good that's also so fast? Then and then also so skilled at marketing. Like in my notes here, I have questions of how do you become so good? How do you produce enough quality work fast enough and master the sales process to retain 10 clients at 2,500 a month? And the value of this is obviously 10 times, it's $25,000 per month, or $300,000 per year. That is the opportunity for designers right now. And you have opportunity like AI that can help you with the process, because AI is not there yet. And so now's your opportunity to go be that person for those people. So the reason I included Drap's project was A, it's sick. I love the design. I love the mark. It was a client work for overdrive.com, which is just a sick domain to begin with. I don't know if it's actually overdrive.com, but if it is, it's sick. And he made 2,500. And a lot of people will like, this is sick. I'm like, Draps is great. I don't do freelance right now, but I've done a lot of one-off projects where I've done branding for similar price values. Um, and then the good part is like doing this opens the door for you to do retainer work for those guys when they eventually need all the assets and all the work and stuff like that. But the goal is 10 clients at 2,500 bucks a month, 300 grand a year. Incredible life that you can have. Working with people you like. 10 clients is enough to where one client leaves you. It's not going to break you. You can replace them pretty quickly. So you're not like over leveraged and you can pick and choose your clients. Like that is the goal. That's the dream right there. And so, anyway, that was just my note on Draps and the different things like that. Congratulations to Draps on those kinds of things. He was our feature of the week for week 1. So super excited. And this is Design Joy's model. Design Joy does, if you don't know, is this guy named Brett. He's a little controversial on the X sphere right now, but I might do a video on my second channel going through some of my thoughts around some of the stuff he's doing. But he has like 20 clients at $5,000 a month, and he's just really skilled. And he made like $1.4 million in a year, with just his client churn, like his best year ever, or something like that. He's actually based in Arizona, but it's like he kind of flagshipped this model. He was one of the first that I really saw do it at a high level. And he does web-based stuff for tech startups. He has a very specific niche of like what he does, and he's very skilled and he works very fast and he's able to get the turnaround. Some people will say, hey, that doesn't work because you're not going to get the quality output that you want. And obviously Brett is good. His relationship with his clients is his business. My question is not, that's impossible because you just can't maintain a level of quality. Like that's just a criticism mentality looking at it. The question we need to be asking ourselves as designers is, how do I get so good? How do I get so good to where I can manage that? How can I expand my capacity to where I can manage that and not have it be less quality? How can I develop the systems and like channels of communication with clients to where I can give them the best quality work in a time frame that works for them and also creates tremendous value for myself? Because no one is overcharging someone when they're half the cost of a full-time designer. You probably charge more, you know? It's like to hire a designer full-time for a company is $50,000 to $60,000. And this right here, 2,500 a month is 30 grand. So you're saving them a ton. And if you can be as good to replace that full-time employee, you're creating tremendous value for the business. At half the cost of what they'd have to pay someone else, and you're able to create more value for yourself. As long as you can, the question is not how do I, like, that's just not possible. There's no way you can do it. Like, there's no criticism towards that. The question becomes, how do I become so good? And then work at that and developing your systems and templates and things to where. What's up, guys? I have no idea what happened, but my screen recording just randomly stopped at like a random 13-minute mark. That hasn't happened before. So we're going to jump back into it. Anyway, how do you become so good? That is a question to ask. And that's stuff that we're going to explore on this channel. So if you like that, make sure to subscribe. If you're a designer, make sure to subscribe. I want to go with that. So the next thing I have on here is the Perplexity Infinite Graphic. Knowledge has beginning but no end. One of the things, the reason I chose this graphic was I really liked the general style of it. I loved the more artistic style, even though you cannot read this domain at all. If I didn't know the name of the company or anything about this company, I'd be like, what domain is that? That's my only critique, and critiquing is not good, but my only critique is that. But this graphic really gives me a sense and a feeling of infinite possibilities, with this like interlocking loops in the shadows and stuff like that, which is Perplexity's value proposition. You know, that there are infinite possibilities with Perplexity. So I included this in there because from a major company, and so it's cool to see what major companies are putting out on their spheres. But overall, I just really like this general feel of infinite possibilities. I thought it was well designed, very mission forward. Like the point of design is art, but for business and for like designers who want client work and stuff like that, the purpose of our art is to communicate a message. And this is a really good job with me, at least, at inspiring me and like, oh yeah, like Perplexity gives me infinite possibilities. If I use the tool, I have infinite possibilities. And so I think this communicates the message and the mission of the brand very well. And that, my friends, is why I included it in to week 3 of Weekly Design Spotlight. All right, next up, I got 3 more for you guys, and I kind of just gave away the spotlight of the week, but it's okay. We have the Inspired Designer. And so if you guys are subscribed, thank you. But I've been using Affinity Designer and doing a Learning Infinity series. And so just uploading my process of replacing some of my workflow with Affinity to get to know the new kid on the block. I got hit with a massive bill from Adobe. They're basically strong arming me saying, give us $800 for the next year or lose your job. And again, like I said, like Draps did that project for 2,500. If you're making 30 grand or 25 grand a month, like obviously $800 a year to provide that is the value is there. It's not the cost of the program, but it's just opening my eyes like, hey, what if I can accomplish the same goal for less? It's just smart optimization of business. And I will pay the $800 ultimately for Adobe again. Like that's going to happen, but I'm not going to like it. And I'm going to start learning different tools to where one day, like I might not have to. And I will be posting Photoshop tutorials on this channel as well eventually as we get into it, because Photoshop, Illustrator, all the Adobe Suite stuff, just because I enjoy that. And that's just what we do. So it's just what we do. Anyway. So seamless transitions from Photoshop to other platforms. All the platform, like Photoshop invented the game. So obviously all of the people, all of the like active projects are based on Photoshop. It invented it, so they obviously take inspiration from that. But so like if you become an expert at Photoshop, you're gonna be an expert at all the others. This graphic, I actually just noticed this. This is what I asked for. If you saw my last design tutorial, I was in Pixel and I was like, where are my alignment tools in this top bar? Because my Affinity doesn't have them. And so I got to get into how to create this custom area here. I really like this. I don't know how to do it yet, but now I know it's possible for sure. And I'll be able to include that in my next Learning Affinity Design tutorial. And so, yeah, but again, like the goal if you're a professional designer is to master Adobe. Like I would still recommend if you're trying to be a professional, you're learning Photoshop, you're learning Illustrator, you're learning the best of the best tools. But don't be like Affinity's free. So might as well download it and play around with it. And if it replaces your workflow and you don't need Photoshop or Illustrator, you don't need it. You can go use another platform. And so I thought that was really interesting. But yeah, he's like, once you master Photoshop, every other tool feels like an extension, which I think is really cool. All right, the last 2 things, we're going to go really quick on these. I know this video is already running a little long, but I have from Sin the visuals. This link will be in the description. All of the links for all the people will be in the description. But he has these awesome 4K textures that I thought were really good that you guys can add value in. I think the most important thing you can do as a designer is develop your texture and font pools. If you have really good textures, you can do a lot of fun and creative things. If you have really good fonts, you can communicate the messages in very specific ways. And so the better you can develop your font library and the fonts that you love to use, and the better you can develop your texture library, those will keep you in business and help you create a lot of really fun things. And so thank you, Sin, for Zin the visuals, for posting these. I think everyone will love them. And for today's spotlight feature of the week, we have Snoogi. Now, this guy is incredible. And he has Snoogi.com, which I think is just a baller domain. But I mean, you can tell by the cover art image and by his logo that he's just incredible. I really want to get this guy. I'm starting a podcast for this channel where I interview designers and get histories of their stories. So you're going to hopefully see a lot of people on there. But I hope to get Snoogi on there eventually and just go through his design process. Like, I mean, the guy is just so talented. And when I think this right here was one of the projects, or there was a project I was looking at this week of his or whatever. And I was just like, I have to like feature this project. And then I went to his page and I saw more projects. I was like, I have to feature this project. I have to feature this project. And I was like, okay, he's the feature of the week because I literally could just go through his posts. If we go to his media and be like, dude, every single thing he does, I'm like, okay, this could be on the weekly design spotlight. And so those things I really like. His colors are also like a red and boom. This was for a group that he did, but red and black, which is some of my favorite design colors. I actually saw a thing. I'll include this in next week's design spotlight, but all of the top 6 teams in college football right now, red is their primary color. So, and the 7th is Old Miss, and Old Miss is blue and red. The red is not the primary. The primary is their like blue color, and so it didn't get included on the list. But they have red in theirs as well. So red is definitely the color of college football, but just one of my favorite colors. So Snoogi is our feature of the week. He's a stud. He's incredible. And I just like follow him, follow his work, take inspiration from his work, steal like an artist, because like you will grow as a designer. And be so inspired and uplifted and elevated just by following his work. So just wanted to give that shout out to the feature of the week, Snoogi. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Will. It's been another incredible week. I will see you guys every single week. Right now, I'm posting on Mondays. I'm trying not to commit to a content thing just in case I happen to miss because things are busy. But this is the second week in a row I've posted on Monday, so look forward on Monday. Hopefully, I don't know what button I hit, but it stops the recording, so I'm not going to touch anything. And I've had a little issue. This is the third time I've tried to record this, but the audio seems to be way off. So hopefully it works. But anyway, I'll try and do it really quick. I'm sorry, guys. But thank you guys for your support. 319 subscribers is no small feat, and I'm excited to keep growing with the channel. I'm really excited to launch a podcast soon where I'm interviewing designers. I think that'll add a ton of value and give perspective and insight to the industry, as well as tutorials, learning Affinity, learning Photoshop, learning all the tools. And I'm just really excited to be posting regular content for you guys. So make sure to check in every single week, get a lot of awesome content. We have the weekly design spotlight where I'm going through stuff like this, textures, fonts, and really good creatives. Anyway, it's all coming. So my name is Will. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe, like, comment, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace.